Hello, fellow beach maniacs and island music lovers. Welcome to the Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast, where we dive into the stories behind the music. I'm your host, the Beach Maniac himself, Bill Hurley. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast. I'm your host, Bill Hurley. And today we're very fortunate to have as our guest Christopher Dale, one of the most gifted and entertaining musicians on the trop rock circuit. Christopher, who is based out of San Diego, is noted for expertly combining storytelling and humor. And if I may quote from his website, his catchy songwriting and remarkable vocal range, coupled with his candid storytelling and unparalleled devotion to entertain the audience, makes each Christopher Dale live performance a memory that sticks to you like superglue. Christopher, thanks for joining me on the Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me, Bill.
So you just returned from San Felipe, Mexico, which I assume is a trip you make at least semi-regularly because you also have a song titled San Felipe. So tell me about your San Felipe connection.
Well, San Felipe, it was on my radar from a very young age because being born and raised in San Diego here, there's a beach softball game that was invented here called Over the Line. And so it's 3-on-3 playing beach softball. And I would play as a junior, as a youngster, I would play in this tournament here in San Diego. But then there was these offshoot tournaments, and there was one in San Felipe that I had young parents, and they would go to this, but other parents would take their kids with them, and my parents would not take me. And every year I'd gripe how, I want to go to San Felipe. All my other friends and my overline teammates get to go, and they finally caved in when I was 12. And they took me down there, and then I realized why they didn't want to take me down there. Because they were partying pretty hard. And, yeah. And there was like streaking involved and all this stuff, and I'm just like, okay. Man. So fast forward to probably about 12 years ago, maybe 13, my parents' next door neighbor retired, sold his house, and he says, I'm going to move down to San Felipe, and do you want to come visit? And I'm like, yes. And so I think I got down there just a couple months later. He wasn't even unpacked yet because I loved Mexico so much. And that was the beginning of it. And then I started to connect to, there was an event down there called Meeting of the Mindless at this cool hotel, and I fell in love with it. And I decided to kind of throw my own event at this hotel like in the fall, because that one was in the spring. And so, yeah. This last weekend marked 10 years that I've been doing that. 9 times, minus the one during the pandemic.
Right. So who do you do that with?
Well, I've had a lot of different musicians. It started out with just because it's so close to San Diego, I'd have a lot of local musicians come down, and then I started mixing in some of the trop rockers. Like I've had Mark Mulligan a couple of times. I've had Ricky Lamb a couple of times. Sam Rainwater. Yeah.
So you get like a group of fans that come down to San Felipe to see you guys?
I do. Yeah, we do. What's cool is we did a in the round songwriters things. The main concert, Mark and I just we sit on stools and we trade songs, and it's really fun. So the hotel only holds about 45 of us. It's a very intimate thing, and you got the backdrop of the Sea of Cortez. And then for the main concert, I sell like 35 more tickets to the locals that live there, the retirees, the expats, as you would call them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we have a blast, and it's very comfortable, plenty of room. It's very laid back, like the song San Felipe says.
Cheers to longer days. Oh, lay back in San Felipe.
Oh, laid back in San Felipe. The pace. I love the pace of Mexico, and the event is catered, and we curate a bar too, because it's so small. There's no restaurant, there's no bar. It's it's all about the people and the venue together that create an amazing just getaway.
That sounds awesome, and there's one of the benefits right there of living in San Diego, right? It's really not a long drive down there.
Yeah, I've had a few people fly in for it and stuff, but then it gets a little more expensive. And this is old school Mexico. It's not like Cabo, so it's easy to drive down, and the prices are good, and it's not a resort town. It's a little fishing village.
Yeah,
it's really just started to bring a lot more music down there because of the Baja Parrot Head Club.
That sounds great. So is it the song San Felipe is about your travels down there and these events that you put on?
It's more about the vibe. It's more about the vibe that I feel when I cross the border. It's like south of the border, my northern disorder disappears where the road turns to sand. It's just like time slows down, and it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a real thing.
And that, and on a related topic, one of my favorite Christopher Dale songs is Mexican Minute. And it's right along those lines. And I love the humor in that song. And it's a reflection not just on laid-back Mexico, but the whole attitude toward life that you get in trop rock music, that whole just taking it easy thing. So tell me about Mexican Minute.
Well, it's funny because Mexican Minute came out of something that happened at my event at this hotel, the Sand Dollar Hotel, one year. And I was just having a conversation with one of my guests, and she said, I saw this jewelry vendor walking up the beach with his case, and I yelled out to him, hey, come on over here, I want to buy some jewelry, which I thought was interesting because usually the vendors come up to you and you're like, no, está bien, gracias.
Yeah.
And she said, he yelled back, okay, give me a Mexican minute. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I've heard of Mexican time, island time, never heard of Mexican minute. I wrote it down. And I'm like, I gotta write a song about that. And then I did. And then I shared it with her, and kind of probably owe her a co-write for it, but don't tell her.
She'll never track you down on that one. So tell me about the song and the lyrics of the song. It's not just Mexican Minute. There's a lot more to it than that.
Well, again, it's a lot about the experience and the difference in culture. It's like mañana doesn't mean tomorrow, just not today.
I love that line. Yeah.
And it's a lot of my gringos would say that because they live down there and they want to get work done, and it's just like they're on a whole different time continuum down there, and it's part of their culture. So they're hardworking people. It's not anything that has to do with laziness or anything. It's just they're
just not wound up. Yep.
Yeah,
they're like just not uptight.
Where it says, pace yourself. I learned out of context. Let's see. I've learned some things from mi amigos down south. Pace yourself and punch the clock in the mouth. It's like, yeah. You don't need a clock down in San Felipe. I don't want a clock down in San Felipe. Mexican time, Mexican minute.
And I won't be late. Mañana doesn't mean tomorrow, just not today. If your to-do list makes you anxious, well, maybe you haven't learned to say rush hour, no way, happy hour, ole, New York minute, no say, Mexican minute. Okay, give me a Mexican minute. I'm not in a hurry. Whatever happens, no stinking worries. Meaningless deadlines, too much on my plate. I'm taking my time, that stuff can wait. Give me a Mexican minute. Give me a Mexican minute, and I won't be late.
Are you able to bring some of that philosophy back home with you when you come back?
I try. My life's kind of chaotic because I'm mission control. I'm everything. I'm every department in my business. So it's easy to get kind of spread thin, but down there, I give myself the excuse to not have to be so on the go.
Yeah. So when you come back, you're the songwriter, you're the musician, you're the performer, you're your own travel agent, you're your own social media guy. You got all that to do, right? And then it just like you get back from San Felipe and it just like hits you.
Yeah. I never want to leave.
I bet.
But I'm not ready to live down there full time either.
No, there's too much else to do, right? You got to have that mix.
I love traveling. I love connecting to people through music. So I love, I can't I don't want to stay in any one location too long because it's like on to the next adventure, on to the next group of people. And I've just, through doing this for 20 plus years now, I have such a great network of friends and fans. And I mean, and doing it in a grassroots way, like staying with everybody everywhere I go. It's like, some people start out as fans of my music, but we become friends. And so I have a lot of friends all over the place. So naturally, I want to see them at least once a year. So that keeps me rolling all across the country and Mexico and sometimes other places.
The life of an independent musician.
I feel pretty blessed. I would have never imagined this. It's just like, the only way to understand it is to be living it, really.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know.
So I hear that from a lot of musicians. Like it's a very stressful and demanding job, but also the rewards of it are tremendous.
Tremendous. But I also I do things in a way where I don't want to be stressed out because then I don't want to do that stuff. So, even though I have to wear all the hats and stuff, I pick and choose my spots and I do it in a way that I can continue to handle it and not, lose my mind.
That's perfect. Again, it's just about finding the balance. Like everything else, right? Yeah. So
everywhere I go, So I'm not on vacation, but it's like if I'm only somewhere for a day or two, it's like I don't want to spend the bulk of that like being holed up in the basement or the spare bedroom, like having to get on my laptop and do the the clerical side of things.
Right. And the job itself has allowed you to travel to places that you never would have otherwise been and meet people you otherwise never would have met.
It's amazing. And I love little towns, and it's amazing how many little towns have parrot head clubs.
Everybody.
Smaller cities.
Yeah.
It's like I love it. And it's very cool.
So the parrot head connection is kind of a big thing for you and your music?
It has been. I mean, my first trip to Meeting of the Minds was 2014, but I had, kind of done a few things for the San Diego Parrot Head Club up until then. And then once I went down there, I met people like from all over, and they're like, hey, we got a club in Pittsburgh. Hey, we got a club in Wichita, Kansas. Hey, we got a club here. We got a club there. And all these places that don't have beaches. And, it was like, wow. And it grew into like, it's probably 50 to maybe 60% of my touring now, which keeps me on the road longer than I used to be on the road, which is fine with me.
All right. So I want to ask about another one of your songs, a very humorous one that I love is called Waitress. And I just can't help but laugh a little bit as I listen to you sing about how you're basically falling in love with your waitress, but you're never going to be able to go out with her. And why is that you're never going to be able to go out with her?
She's making out with the hostess. I'm in love with the gay waitress. But I'm glad you called it by its rightful name, because people were requested as gay waitress, and it's like it's not often that you have a song that has a punchline. And that one has a punchline. So when people start shouting, play Gay Waitress, I'm like, it's called Waitress. And that one, it's I guess if you could ever be me on stage playing a song and have, the most fun experience, that would probably be it. Just, it's gotten a little different, and in some places, I see the reaction that when I first wrote it and played it, I never would get, but people have become more conservative, I think, and stuff, and in different locales, but it would just be fun. People never seem to get sick of that song. I never get sick of playing it because everybody seems to have so much fun listening to it. And I'd watch a friend bring a new person to my show, and I'd play that song, and they'd be like just sitting there elbowing their friend, and like, listen to this, shut up and listen, and then laughing and still elbowing them on certain lyrics in the song. And I'm just like thinking to myself, man, you're gonna you're bruising this person.
So, what's the origin? What's the origin of the song? Is there any truth to it? Were you sitting in? Did you have a waitress that you were falling in love?
Yeah, I used to be a regular at a breakfast place. Me and my grandpa would go out to breakfast quite a bit, and it's and I would like to say, not everybody's fallen in love with a gay waitress, but I think everybody's kind of, been smitten with their server when she's, attractive and is very personable and gives you great service. It's just like leaves a lasting impression,
It does.
So, yeah, just one of them happened to be gay.
Okay.
With a gay waitress, I'm in love. With a gay waitress, I'm in love. With a gay waitress, but she's always mine at breakfast time. She's always mine at breakfast time. She's always mine at breakfast time. Oh yeah, she's always mine at breakfast time.
So my wife Diane and I had the pleasure of seeing you perform last spring at the Venice, Florida train depot as part of the Sonny Jim's Songwriter series. And you performed there with Manalo and Sonny Jim himself. And that night, among other songs that we're talking about here today, you sang your song titled Hands. And as you were singing it, I looked over at Diane, and there were literally tears running down her face. And you took a little break after that song, and we walked up to you, and I said, I don't know if you remember this, I said, hey man, you just made my wife cry. But it was really in a beautiful way. So tell everybody about that song and why it made my wife Diane cry.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, the train depot, that was a very special gig. That was the first time I got to play there. And Sonny Jim's amazing songwriter, musician, and human, and Manalo and I had met the year or two before that, so he's just a really talented and just a great guy too. So to be able to do that with the two of them, and it's like that historic, Venice train depot, that was a big time highlight for me. So if you're listening, Sonny Jim, I hope you'll have me back this spring. And so the song Hands came out of my long-term relationship, the one, and I remember I had my arm around her, and the palm of my right hand just fit. It seemed to fit perfectly in the small of her back. And I was just like, wow, it's like my hands are made for touching you. And that's the line from the song. And so that's where it started. It's like all these things that my hands do on a daily basis, and a lot of them they have to, but when it's all said and done, my hands were made for touching you, not for doing all this other stuff.
Right. And it's one of those situations where, as a songwriter, you take an experience like that and a very simple concept of looking at your hands and thinking about all the things they do, and then turning that into a love song, basically, right?
Yeah, and that one's another fun one to play and watch the audience, because then I see like all these couples start holding hands and stuff, and I had no idea that would happen, and it's but yeah, that's fun to watch.
Yeah, they've opened doors so I could walk through. They reach for things I thought they had to. Scratched and clawed for all that is dear. They wipe my eyes if they start to tear. But of all the things I ever asked them to do, I know without a doubt my hands were made for touching you. I know without a doubt my hands were made for touching you. I know without a doubt my hands were made for touching you.
It's funny because she inspired me to write another song called "Used to Be My Place" as well.
And
when she rolled into my house and moved in, and then my stuff started disappearing without any conversation whatsoever.
That's a very funny song. So it's like the same inspiration, but in two entirely different directions.
But that song's a love song too, even though my stuff is disappearing, and it's like "Used to Be My Place." It's like love is a home invasion.
My closet is made out of dresses, sweaters and high heel shoes. I got a dozen hangers in the back corner, a dozen in the spare room, down to one crowded shelf in the medicine cabinet too. I'm singing in the shower with 10 different bottles of shampoo. Stuff that I am missing didn't leave an empty space. It's now a spot for something else, what used to be my place. The stuff that I am missing vanished without a trace. And I'm just hoping as time goes on, I'm not the next thing to get replaced. Love is a home invasion, but I knew it from the start. When she moved in, things would disappear, including the hole in my heart.
What is your favorite song or most meaningful song to perform?
Oh man, I don't know. It's so hard doing this for so long to have so many, to have a catalog, that's has a fair amount of songs in it. There's a lot of songs that I don't get to play because I write what I feel, and that's how it's always started. And then as a songwriter, it starts out as it's therapeutic. It's kind of what you're feeling. And then I realize I like to sing in the waltz. I like the vocal delivery of the waltz timing, the 3/4. It's got a sway to it. But then I realize it's like, okay, you got those. Now you need to get some dance and stuff, some 4/4, and so I started, really being mindful of writing all across the board. And so, but I have a lot of ballads that I don't get to play as much because when you do a live show, it's like you got to keep, the dynamics flowing. I like what the crowd likes. It's, so
yeah.
Because they're all babies.
Right. And the crowd likes the funny songs, and they like the serious songs, and they like the right mix of songs, and the fast songs and the slow songs. And
that's why, I fit into there's ways that I fit into the trop rock genre, but then it's like the best description of me and that I'm most comfortable with is a singer-songwriter. That's what I feel I'm here for. And that's what makes me happy.
I understand you're also involved in reaching out to kids and helping them appreciate music, and that you're involved in some child-oriented charitable endeavors. Can you tell me about your focus on kids?
Yeah. We'll first touch, I guess, on inspiring kids, because was a big thing for me for music. In elementary school, I had a counselor who taught guitar, and around 6th grade, he brought in some of his high school age students, and they did an assembly in the auditorium, and they just blew the roof off. They played some Yes and classic rock, and I'm just like, wow. And I was already big time into music as just lover of music. I mean, probably even from the earliest age of 6, 7, to where, American Top 40 on Sundays, this is Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem.
And I was just every Sunday glued to the radio and going, who's going to be number one this week? And it was just Christmas is okay, but Christmas happens once a year. It's this happens every week. And it's super excited about it. So once I saw that, I started taking guitar lessons from him in 6th grade. And after taking lessons for a little while, I just I learned some chords, and I even wrote my own songs and recorded some. I think it was between 7th and 8th grade.
Wow.
He had a connection with the recording studio, and I used some of my other friends were taking lessons from him, and we had a buddy that played drums around the corner. And it was that was kind of the start of it. And so my mom is also a triplet, and they were all teachers in the elementary level.
Good for them.
So I watched how they started cutting music in schools, and I'm like, how can you do that? It's so important, and it translates into other subjects in school, and it's kids need to be exposed to all these things. And when there's cutting music programs, I'm like, this isn't cool. So I'd start going and playing in my aunt's class, my mom's class, and then the other triplet was a brother who ran away to Australia after graduating San Diego State University, and he became a teacher and then the principal of his school. And I'd go down there and play for his class. And then
in Australia,
his daughter was a teacher in Australia, and then I would tour down in Australia. And it's just kids, they're so curious, they're so fearless in so many ways. And it's just I wanted them to know that, hey, if you're interested in learning an instrument, you need to tell your parents. And it's so anything I could do. And then another thing I did that I kind of learned from working with my friend that had a workshop called STEAM. STEM was a big thing in school, but then they added the arts. So it's science, right, technology, engineering.
Engineering, arts, and math. Yeah.
And then the A in STEAM is art. So right. I started doing stuff with him. So then I got into I really loved how we took recyclable stuff and made them into instruments. So we'd take, little plastic water bottles and put rice and beans in them and make maracas out of them, and then take popsicle sticks and a rubber band and make a kazoo out of them, and then wrote a couple songs. We'd make the instruments, and I'd already written a couple songs, and then we'd play these songs, and it was about the instruments we made, and it was super fun. Again, kids, it's they're into it and willing to participate. So then the charitable thing is I'd been looking for a charity to support, and I knew I wanted that, to involve children. And I just ended up writing this song called Smile, and inspired by my friend Jackie Vincent out of Austin, Texas, who's has just become this rock guitar goddess. And I've watched her just elevate probably over the last 10 years. I've just watched her evolve from her early 20s into being in her early 30s now. And her idol's Buddy Guy, and she's played with Buddy Guy, she's just, and she has this smile that takes up her whole face. And I'm just man, you have one of the most just infectious giant smiles I've ever seen. It's you should first of all be on billboards. So if people are stuck in traffic, you're going to change their mood. But then I just saw, like, when she's up there on stage, all you see is a pair of Converse, you know, a Stratocaster, and this huge smile. And I watch people come in and watch her play. She's up there smiling, and people are smiling back. And I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. So I wrote this song. And then once I wrote it, I felt like, man, this song could help people. It's like, I need to find a charity that could, you know, I want to offer them this song to help them. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started learning about cleft palate repair organizations, because a lot of kids, especially in third world countries, are born with the cleft palate. And it's like, when I started researching it more, it's like it was heartbreaking how difficult their lives were, and not being teased and not being able to eat properly and all that stuff. And so I narrowed it down and found this one called Smile Train, because they had the best model, to where it's give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And they go around and train these doctors all over the world. And so for as little as $250, they can get this initial surgery for a child and, like, begin the transformation and change their life.
I can feel it, feel it, feel it, when it's taking over me. As it grows, it begins to glow. The energy it spreads is amazing. When you're happy, it takes over your face and shines its light all over the place. Smile, get one back, then another and another, we'll lose track. Smile, set yourself free. Smile, get to know me.
And then just it snowballed from there. I had my friends who own a ukulele shop here in San Diego, and one day I was in getting a new ukulele, or I'm supposed to call it ukulele, or they call me a haole, but because that's how the Islanders say it. But I was getting a new one, and I'm like, I like this one. They're like, okay. I'm like, what are you? They're like, nothing, it's yours. And and by the way, here's 12 other ukuleles to support your charity.
Well, that's wonderful.
So I've taken them and raffled them off at house concerts, and so I'm down to my last one right now, and I'm taking it to Buddy's backyard for Buddy's backyard bash on the way to Meeting of the Minds this year. I'm especially excited because both days are sold out, so I think we have a chance to really, raise some funds for Smile Train.
So you raise funds. How is it that you raise funds?
A couple events I've done, I'll play and we'll just ask for straight up donations, but then raffling off these ukuleles.
Okay, great.
So I'll do it at events where, it's like a house concert, a ticketed event. And then when they come in, I'll have a display and we'll sell raffle tickets. And
that's beautiful.
It's done.
Yeah. And so has the Smile Train organization adopted your song, Smile?
Not as their theme song, but we've used it in several fundraising capacities. And they've worked close with me to help, put together some promotional materials and stuff using the song and to help promote them.
So what is your background? Where you grew up in San Diego, and through school you got interested in music and becoming a singer-songwriter. Where did it go from there?
And Mexico, because my through elementary school, when I was in 4th grade, it turned into Spanish immersion. So both music and Mexico came through from elementary school.
How did you from there become a professional singer-songwriter?
Yeah, it's as much a mystery as to me as it is to you. Because even though, like I said, I wrote some songs early on and recorded them. I stopped playing music in like 8th grade, and I didn't do it through high school or any of that. I played sports.
Interesting.
But I also went to Claremont High School, which is based on the movie, or the movie's based on my high school, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
There was a lot of partying going on, and I played sports. And I just had some hang up on music for a while. And so about 23, I was working with this guy who was in one of the most popular bands in town, and I'm just like, after like, you know, all through high school watching my friends be in bands, and I just like, man, I want to do it, but I just wouldn't do it. I finally dove in, and he's able to introduce me to some other musicians, and I put my first band together, and it just kind of like, it took off real fast. And
you were hooked.
There I was hooked, and we were together for a few years, got like record contract offer and some San Diego Music Award nominations and all that stuff. And then the band just kind of imploded, and I'm like, well, you know, I want to do this for a living. So that's when I grabbed the acoustic guitar, and I just started playing regularly, weekly at this couple bars, and just playing covers and learning covers helped my songwriting.
Do you do most of your performances in the San Diego area, or is it just like half and half traveling and half there?
No, I feel totally disconnected because I spend like over 9 months here on the road. I went from having like 4 gigs a week several years ago to like just being on the road all the time. And it's just, again, it keeps the adventures going.
I get the sense that you do most of your performing with just you and a guitar. Do you perform with a band very often?
Not anymore because of the traveling. But what's cool about, like, you know, I know going to Meeting of the Minds in a week or two, it's like, and doing these like showcases like Donnie's at Lulu's and stuff like that, you know, he's going to have a band up there.
I just always find it interesting how that the musicians just kind of stick together. They kind of support each other, and when they need each other, they seem to be there. It's just a special community that way.
Absolutely. Well, that's part of the musician's lifeblood, you know? It's like if you can contribute to something, it's creating. So it's like, you know, if you can fill a role or help somebody out, I'm in.
So you mentioned, I think you mentioned Buddy's Backyard is coming up.
Yeah.
And then meeting of the Minds.
There's like something going on every day. Sometimes there's a couple of appearances in one day.
Yeah, it's a big event.
It's cool. I love that. I love that because you get to hang with all your friends, all these people you play for across the country. You know, many of them come down, and we're all in the same place. So it's just like, hey, do you know so-and-so from so-and-so? And it's like, so it's cool connecting all these different people, you know, that I'm connected with, you know, from going all across the country, and we're all together in one place, and people are meeting. It's just like the whole community just continues to expand, you know, in that way. And it's just, it's fun. And then everybody's sharing stories, and it's just like, don't tell them that one, but you know, it's like,
heard that one a million times.
It's just, no, or it's like, that was our little secret, you know. Yeah. It's like, but I'll tell you where my favorite Reuben is, and it's in Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you where my favorite this is, you know. And it's just like, man, and I've gone to Worst Fest in Amana Colonies, Iowa, you know. And it's just like, and the Parrot Heads, they will drive and fly all over the place. You know, great lengths.
Absolutely, they absolutely do.
Support everybody, and that's incredible. It really is. There's nothing like it, really.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even keep track of some of my friends. It's like, where are you now? They're always like trying to keep track of me. I'm like, well, I'm pretty trackable, but.
Do you know Biz Blazinski?
I know Biz, yeah.
You know Biz? That's what he does. He's got his RV, and he just travels around.
He is now. I was one of the first trips. I dragged him up to a little town called Wapaka, Wisconsin. And he was it was like the first trip he took it, where he stayed in a campground, and I did this little unity in the community in this little town, and it's a great little town. And we spent like 3-4 days together. And
that's interesting because
old fashioned day.
I I'm a Wisconsin guy, and we take our family up to Wapaka Chain of Lakes every summer. We rent a lake house there. So where was your concert? Where was your little gig?
It was on Main Street. It was a Unity community, so it was in some neighbors' front yards, because I do a lot of those.
Okay.
It came out of the pandemic, where you just kind of pop up in a neighborhood. Can happen on short notice too. And I just put out a tip jar, and it's a really wonderful bonding experience for everybody. You see neighbors talking to each other, but they're focused on the music, and it's the type of songs, I play the fun songs, but then I have some other songs that just really, how we're connected as humans together. And, it's just a wonderful experience. And to have live music in your community like that, it's, house concerts are usually indoors or in a backyard or in a basement. This one's in the front yard. So it's people that maybe knew about it and got a flyer or whatever, or were on a neighborhood, the next door app or whatever, but you get people riding their bikes or walking their dogs. And they in a Unity community, meet and greet your neighbors, and so they stop, and it's just it's like a concert in the park too. You bring your own chair, like a house concert. You bring your own chair, you bring your own cooler, and
I got to check that out.
Donation, yeah. To me, I'm really going forward trying to do more of those things, because it's it speaks to me, and it's just it's a good vibe, and we all walk away, and it's just everybody's smiling.
That's the point right there, isn't it? That's the point. So where can people find out more about Christopher Dale?
More about me. Well, I could give you my mom's number. I don't know.
That's not what I had in mind.
She's retired people. She's one of the most busiest retired people I know, though. So you probably have to make an appointment. But, my website, ChristopherDaleMusic.com. Facebook is my music page, Christopher Dale Music. I'm trying to get better, put more stuff on YouTube.
It's hard. It is hard to keep up with the social media.
Yeah, it seems, and I'm all really about living in the moment. It's so even though I get to do a lot of cool things, I don't always remember to share them on social media.
Yeah.
And it's just I've always just been in the moment in real life, and that's why I love being on the road so much. So I'm not that prolific on social media. I mean, I do all right. And one of the cool things people say they like is I change my my cover photo on my Facebook depending on what state I go. So if you're welcome to whatever state, I take a picture of it. I got a hula girl on my dash, and I take a picture of her in that sign. And so when I'm in that state, that's my cover. And I change it when I change the state. Although I'm in San Diego right now, and I still have the San Felipe sign up. So I guess I better.
You'll get it done in a Mexican minute, though.
I'm taking a Mexican, but I'm leaving on Sunday, so I'll have the Arizona one popping up on Sunday, and then into New Mexico, and then into Texas, and then until I get to Gulf Shores. Then it'll stay on Alabama for a while, or at least a week.
All right. Well, you're a very busy guy, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. So thank you again for joining me on the Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast. I wish you all the best of luck and continued success, and have a great trip through Texas and Alabama and meeting of the minds. And I hope to see you on the road again soon. Maybe we will see you at another Sunny Gem event. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for all you do, and for having me on Beach Maniac.
Thank you again, Christopher Dale, for joining me on the Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast. For more information about Christopher, visit beachmaniac.com, where this podcast is housed and where you will find both an audio and video podcast, along with some video clips, a blog with a podcast transcript, and links to Christopher's website, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. You'll also find the video podcast on the Beach Maniac YouTube channel. Just search for Beach Maniac Island Music Podcast.
And thanks to everyone for joining me, Bill Hurley, the Beach Maniac, as we go behind the scenes and explore the magic behind the music. For more about me and my passion, visit beachmaniac.com or contact me at bill@beachmaniac.com.
Remember, whether you're soaking up the sun or catching the waves, we hope you're feeling those good beach vibes. Until next time, keep the sand between your toes and the ocean breeze in your hair. Stay safe, stay cool, and we'll catch you on the next wave.
Won't ever go